Hello, my fellow students. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. My name is Ugochukwu Hambuchemela, a 200 level student of Abia State University. In this video, I would like to show you, my fellow students, how to solve this problem, mathematical problem, line integration. So I've been finding this problem very difficult to understand for long, but I thank God during my night class it helped me to understand. I was able to understand this, and I don't want to absorb it alone. I want to share my knowledge to my fellow students. If you are watching this video, we are going to look at a very simple problem. We say evaluate I is equals to integral of x squared plus 2y dx plus xy dy from the point of origin O 0, 0 plus b, point B 1, 4 along the curve y is equals to 4x squared. If you are given a problem like this, look at the problem very well. They say from point of origin O, point O, you can call here our x1, y1, x2, y2, something like that. So now before you solve this problem, I advise you to sketch it in a graph for easy understanding. So we sketch our graph, sketching. You know, here is always our x-axis, and here is always our y-axis. So here is our point 0. You can call here your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, depending on the value, maximum value you are giving. For the y, you can call here your 1, your 2, your 3, your 4, depending on the value you are giving. So now, when on point O, which is the first one, x1 is equals to 0 and y1 is equals to 0. So our point is at 0 points. So that is where our first placing will be, point 0. We call it our point 0. So now, second point, we have it at point B, x2 is equals to 1 and y2 is equals to 4. Then y, our x is 1, which is here. Here is our 1. Let's trace it down to the x-axis. Then our y is equals to 4. So let's trace it down. Our y is equals to 4. Sorry. Here is our y, and here is our s. So it's equals to 1. This is our 1 here. And 4. Let's trace 4 down to the x-axis. So this is it. The point is going to be here. It's going to be like this. So the curve will be something like this. The curve is a sketch. So from this problem, the next thing to do is to write out the question. The question is something like this: integral x squared plus 2y dx plus xy dy. This is our problem. Now, how do we show the problem? Recall that the line integral formula that says that this is equals to p dx plus q dy. Now, this curve y is equals to 4x. So this graph we just sketched is showing us that the line there, that y is equals to 4x squared. So now, this is our integral formula, line integral formula for this problem. Now let's represent p for this one having the x. We are going to divide this equation into 2. So this man is for p and this man is for q. So let's bring out p. P is equals to s squared plus 2y dx. So let's just solve for p. Now p, recall that our y coordinates. So anywhere we see our y, we replace it with 4x squared. Now let's go. our p now will be equals to x squared plus 2 times our y times 4x squared dx. So let's evaluate this man. If you open the bracket, you have our x squared to be equals to 2 times 4 is 8x squared dx. And if you do it, x squared plus 8x squared, we have our 9x squared, because the powers are the same. You know your laws of indices, power law. You understand that this man is equal to 9x dx. Now let's proceed to, this is our p. Now let's proceed to our q. Our q will be equals to, look at this problem, I divided it x, y, dy. Our q is having dy. Recall this problem, we are trying to make the base to be in the same, we are trying to make this the x dy to be in the same phase. Either we turn this the x to the y or turn this the y to the x. So in this problem, our y is given, so we are going to, our m is to turn this dy to the x. Understand? So for the first thing, let's just find our q. Our q is this, which is equals to, recall that our y is equals to 4x squared dy. No, our y coordinates. So if you open the bracket, you find out that our q will be equals to, 4s cubed dy. If you use s to times, if s times this man, it will give us something like this. Now I hope you guys are following. Now we have known our q and known our p. Now let's differentiate x in order to, let's turn this x to y. Like, let's find our dy, the value of our dy. This is our y. Let's differentiate it to get our ds. So y is equals to 4s squared. You know your differentiation very well. Dx, dy over dx will be equal to, if you differentiate this man, we are going to have 8x. So now let's make dy the subject formula. We have 8x dx. So now in here, this ds is equals to 8x dy. Now anywhere we see dy, we represent it, dy, to be x dx. So let's rewrite our equation, our problem. If we rewrite it, we are going to have integral, pardon my handwriting, I don't know how to draw the integral sign. Integral of c, then we have our p. Let's follow this equation. Our p ds. Our p ds is 9x squared ds. 9x squared dx. And plus our q is 4x cubed dy. So here we will not write this dy, rather we will replace it with what? 8x dx is the value of our dy. So 8x dx. So the magic that just happened here is that we have made this man to be the same thing as this man. ds dx. Dx dx. Now let's proceed to open up this bracket. We have that 9s squared dx plus, if this man times this man, what are we going to have? 4 times 8 is equals to 32. So we have 32 x to the power of 4. 32 x to the power of 4 dx. Now the s, we now cancel the x. We have our equation to be integral 9x plus 32 x to the power of 4. Very simple. Now we have our x. So let's remove our integral formula. If you remove this integral formula, this I will now be equals to, if you integrate 9x, you are going to have 3x to the power of what? 3. 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 1. That's why, if you know your integral very well, this is how it is going to be. Plus 32x to the power of 4 plus 1 is 5 all over 5. So recall that our s in the problem, our s coordinate are x1 is 0, x2 is 1. So we are going to substitute s from 0 to 1. From 0 to 1. This is now our problem. So if you substitute s from 0 to 1, we have that x is equals to the I is equals to 3 times 1 to the power of 3. Understand? Plus, I beg your pardon, I didn't know that my video went off. Now the equation becomes this. If you substitute